All right, good afternoon, East Alabama and West Georgia. For those of you who are tuning in for weather coverage this evening, we're paying very close attention to Woodland, Alabama, because we have an outdoor concert that is about to get underway, and we now have lightning within 6 miles of downtown Woodland. So the decision has just been made to go ahead and evacuate the stadium. So if you're on your way to Woodland for the Vern Fest, continue on to the parking lot and just stay in your vehicle until the all clear is given. This is going to be for lightning that's in the area. We had one strike that was pretty close to the stadium, and then we had another one that was just off to the east of downtown Woodland, and we've had about 3 or 4 strikes just to the north of Woodland in the last couple of minutes. Those strikes that you see on the screen are lightning strikes within the last 3 minutes at that particular location. So right now we are showing the latest 3 strikes are just north of downtown Woodland, the stadium being about right there where you see the N on Woodland. So that's within a couple of miles of the stadium, and of course that is well close enough to be struck by lightning. So we've taken the least course of regret here, and they are in the process of asking everyone at the venue there at Warren Sewell Field to return to their vehicles until this particular storm gets out of the way. Now, it is moving off to the northeast fairly rapidly, so I think we're only looking at about 30 minutes here, where we'll have to hopefully by about 7:35 we can clear the area and let everybody come back into the stadium to get ready for the concert. But we're also concerned about what we're seeing over here in Clay County. We've got pretty heavy thunderstorm up there in the northern and northeastern portions of Clay County that are moving back in the general direction of Woodland. Now, the lightning in that storm in Clay County is going to be confined to the northern part of the storm system, which would be the part that would move back over northern Randolph County. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that, but we're going to take this one storm at a time. And tell you that this storm that's moving through Woodland now, not dumping a tremendous amount of rain at the stadium, though it is back building a little bit back to the southwest with that last update. But you can clearly see there we have 4 lightning strikes in the last 3 minutes, and that is way too close. So they are going to go ahead and evacuate the stadium and ask everyone to go back to their automobiles until the lightning clears the area. Now, the show is not set to start just yet. They were going to try to get underway at 7 o'clock, but with this storm in the area, they're going to have to hold up now until we can get this thunderstorm out of here. So that's what we're looking at in Woodland. Let me zoom out and show you the entire area. Just copious amounts of rainfall over here in central and southern Talladega County. Sylacauga, Childersburg, you're just getting hammered with heavy rain. And that stretches back into Clay County, back into southwest Clay. And then up on the north end of the storm system, we have that heavy cell moving through northern Clay up into southwestern Cleburne County, up around Mount Cheehaw. A lot of lightning output there, and that stretches up to the Anniston, Oxford area. But the heaviest part of that storm, Anniston and Oxford, is going to stay to the south of you. Now, we've got some stuff back down around Talladega that may end up moving up in that direction. But as Dana pointed out about 45 minutes ago, he was awfully afraid this stuff was going to start moving and probably moving off to the east-northeast, and that is just exactly what we're seeing here. Plus, we're watching some big thunderstorms down in southern Coosa County, back over to southwestern Tallapoosa, and down to just northeast of Wetumpka, and up in central Tallapoosa County. That's going to be moving up in the Randolph County direction as well. So we're going to have to continue to watch this as, unfortunately, we are beginning to see things really break loose here right at showtime for the 5th annual Vern Fest that was set to get underway about 8 minutes ago in Woodland. But once again, they have now asked everyone to go to their automobiles to evacuate the stadium because we have lightning within an 8-mile radius of Warren Sewell Field there in Woodland. Again, if you're on your way to the show, or if you're watching us on your phone, if you're in your automobile, if you have already evacuated from the stadium and you're watching us, we're going to let you know. We'll keep you updated here on Dr. Don's Weather on when it will be safe to go back inside the stadium. And hopefully they can make that announcement there at the stadium. That the best way to find out when it's safe to come back in is just to keep us on your phone, and we will be able to keep you updated on what's going on here. Dana's going to join me in just a few moments. We're watching this lightning from 2 or 3 different locations, 2 or 3 different sources here. And so we're going to keep you updated as best we can as we move forward. So Dana is in the green room. Let me get him over here live with us right quick. And we'll get his take on what we're seeing now. So he should show up here in just a few moments. Actually, I got him in the hang on, Dana. I put you in the wrong box for some reason. Let me unpack you and rebox you right quick.
All right.
And then we'll talk about this thing. All right, there you go. You're in the right box now.
Put the money back in the box.
Back in the box. All right, so I don't know what to say other than our fears are coming true. You pointed this out about an hour ago that you were awfully afraid this stuff was going to start building back to the east, and that is precisely what we're seeing happen here. And we're seeing some pretty respectable reflectivity on radar. Now, we don't have anything severe. The Weather Service hasn't issued any severe thunderstorm warnings. As a matter of fact, they don't even have any special weather statements out on any of this stuff yet. We've got that flash flood warning that continues up there for Cherokee County. They've let the Talladega County warning expire. But the problem now is we have lightning that's way too close to Woodland for folks to be outside.
Right. Yeah. That storm, the one we were watching, went from a shower to a pretty strong storm. They got a ton of lightning bolts right now, up 48 from Woodland up to where it crosses over to what's that? That's Bowden, right? In Carroll County, where it goes.
Yes.
Yeah. So from there really to the Georgia border, they're seeing all kinds of lightning from that shower and storm. And then I'm worried also about the ones down Tallapoosa County near Newside, Daviston, down toward Lake Martin. That's on a line for Randolph County here in the next hour or two. So I'm hoping we get a little clear slot here, but I'm not too optimistic that we're going to get too much more clear time before these storms kind of set in.
And so going back up here to the Randolph County storm, the one that came through Woodland, you can see it right there. And I'm going to stop the loop and take it current. And you can see that the rain itself is moving away from Woodland. But we have all these lightning strikes sitting up here between Woodland and Newell. And we've got to get that lightning a little further away from Woodland before it is safe to put everybody back in the stadium. Because understand, folks, if you're within 10 miles of a lightning strike, you're close enough to be struck by lightning. So we've got to get that a little further on up to the north. The storm itself is about to cross up across the Georgia state line up there around Bucktown, and then eventually it will get up there into Bowden. And maybe also Ranburn. We'll see some of this storm. So if we can get the lightning out of there, the rain's not that big of an issue because it's going to be subsiding in the Woodland area here in just a few minutes. But, Dana, the problem is this stuff that's coming in northwest Randolph County, and then the bigger problem is going to be this stuff you were just talking about down in Talladega County, back into Tallapoosa County. How in the world they put Tallapoosa and Talladega so close together is beyond me. But Talladega, Tallapoosa County and Coosa County, and the stuff down in Elmore County, like you said, it's making a beeline for Randolph County.
Yeah, that stuff's been around the Montgomery area and was developing the past hour or two. It looks like the stuff in northwest Randolph won't get close enough to be an issue for Woodland, but it's going to clip North Vidalia on 431, north of the lake, I think, up toward the Cleburne line. But, that stuff upstream in Tallapoosa County, is really what we're going to probably have a beat on next when we get rid of this one storm that's right there over the northeast corner of Randolph right now with the delay.
Yeah, and see, with the last volume scan, we're picking up lightning down here in Wadley now. I mean, the north end of that stuff coming out of Tallapoosa is filling in very quickly with each scan that we get. The thing's not only moving to the northeast, but it's growing in that direction also. So, if we had another 15 or 20 minutes to get the lightning that's up there around Newell on out of northern Randolph, then we might could get the show underway. But I'm afraid by that time, this stuff down here around Wadley is going to be encroaching the woodland area, maybe down here south of Wedowee, and it's going to be laying down lightning also.
Yep. Yeah, I got the same feeling. That Wadley storm you're talking about, and then the stuff around New Site, and the one cell right there in southeastern Clay near Mellow Valley. That's really the biggest one on the board in terms of all of those right there, right over the Tallapoosa line. If you're heading up, what is that? I think that's 49 heading up from New Site.
Yep, right
that one right there. Yeah,
right there around the mountain, between Mountain Community and Cooley Crossroads, going up 49 there. Just to the west of 77. So, yeah, that's going to be the next one to really be concerned about. We got to watch that one down here around Wadley also. So that's where we're at right now. I know that Jamie is busy. I was hoping maybe he would jump in here with us and at least give us a bird's eye view of what it looks like up there. But I did go ahead and advise them that they needed to go ahead and evacuate, so they are in the process of sending everyone back to their vehicles. And so I wanted to jump in here and show you what's happening on radar, and also, tell the folks that maybe you have evacuated to your vehicle and you're watching us this evening. We'll let you know when we think it's safe to go back in the stadium. Now, Mayor Scott is going to make that final call. We talked to him off air a few moments ago, and Dana and I are relaying weather information to Jamie. Jamie is giving it to Scott, and they're making decisions on when they're going to evacuate and when they're going to make the all clear call to let everybody back in the stadium. Doggone it, we were really hopeful that we were going to be able to pull this off and get the show underway on time, because it really looked good there for several hours, and then just all of a sudden it broke loose. Yep,
and I don't know how long what their curfew is, so to speak, but there's a back edge of this stuff down. If you look down from Deatsville to Wetumpka, the slap out area down there in Elmore County, there's nothing back in the Montgomery area. So, I don't know how long they want to go tonight, but I think we can get it underway later. It's just going to be a long while before we got to get these storms out of the way.
I thought that I was the only person, and I probably am the only person currently in the state of Georgia, that knew where Slap Out, Alabama was. But I see that Dana understands where Slap Out, Alabama is as well. All right.
Well,
so
I kind of cheated there, though. We actually have we're calling football for Hopeville High School this year, so that's right in downtown Slap Out over there.
Is. Absolutely. All right, so now Jamie has joined us. We're going to take his shot live in full screen so we can kind of see what things look like at Warren Sewell Field. We do have rain falling. That's very obvious. And the announcement, I'm assuming the announcement was made to ask everyone to go back to their vehicle, and I'm assuming that's what's taken place, Jamie.
Yes, sir. That's exactly what happened. The MC came on and told everybody to evacuate, and they'll let them know when it's safe to come back in.
And that is absolutely the safest thing to do, and we can tell you that the lightning that we have, the closest lightning to Woodland now is going to be up Highway 48 north of Woodland. We've got a few strikes up there about 3 miles to the northeast, and then a couple of strikes up around Newell and Pine Hill. The good news is all of that is moving away from you, moving off to the north, and the rain should be in the process of tapering off right now there at the stadium. That's the good news. The bad news is we've got more storms down here in Tallapoosa County, really southeastern Clay County, from about About Gibsonville down to the mountain community, stretching down to New Site, back over to Daviston and up to Wadley, and all of that's moving in your general direction. Now, it's there's not a tremendous amount of lightning involved in it, but that could change just like this storm did. This storm wasn't producing much lightning either until it got right there on top of Woodland. Then it just kind of blew up all at one time, and we got those lightning strikes. So I think let's see, about 7:35 was what I had pegged for things to be safe, and unless we get some strikes right there at Woodland or just south of Woodland, I think we're still going to be okay with that 7:35 call. And I'm gonna bring Dana back in here and see what he thinks about that 7:35.
Sorry, I was on mute. There we go. 7:35 I think is definitely a good call there. We'll get rid of that one storm. The stuff in northern Randolph along 431, that's 8 miles away, but I think that's going to be far enough west where it won't be an issue. And I think the next thing really, like you said, Don, we're looking at is that stuff down there, Goldville, Mellow Valley, Southeast Clay, near the Wadley area, heading up toward the northeast and see what that does.
Okay, so Jamie, are you clear that unless something changes, we're thinking 7:35, the all clear can be given to come back into the stadium, and I think the rain will be subsided by that time as well.
All right, I will. I'll have that discussion with the powers that be. That'd be Mr. Scott, and we'll see what he says on that. Of course, anything can change between now and then. So
yes, I wouldn't announce that just yet. I'm just saying that unless something changes, the timing, the stopwatch is running, and I think 7:35 will be fair, unless we get more lightning strikes there around Woodland or just south of Woodland. So we'll see how that works out. So you're down to what? Just a light drizzle now, pretty much, or maybe a little more than a drizzle?
Yes, sir. Yeah, just a light drizzle. You can hear some thunder in the distance. I don't know how close it is. I don't have a lightning striker detector, but I can hear some thunder in the distance.
Yeah, that should be north of you. And now let me see if Dana agrees with me. What you're looking? Yeah, Dana's shaking his head. Yeah, he says.
Yeah, north, some west down. You probably hear thunder from that stuff to the west too on 431. Probably hear some of that too.
Yep, back over toward Fuller's Crossroads, back up in the Pine Tucky area, north, the extreme northwest Randolph. We've got some lightning over there. So, you could be hearing some of that. Now, that's far enough away. That shouldn't be a problem for you there at the football stadium in Woodland. So maybe in the next 10 minutes or so, it'll be safe to bring folks back into the stadium. We'll see if we can get this show underway. Smile, Jamie. Smile. It's going to be okay.
It is.
It's like Dana was saying, and please relay this to Mayor Scott also, that even if we have trouble out of this stuff down in Tallapoosa County, if we can get past that, I think the rest of the evening is going to be okay. Now, it may take, what, Dana, a couple of hours?
Yeah.
Hour and a half, couple of hours to get that out of there.
Yep, so that's what I was saying. I don't know what y'all's curfew is tonight, but I think you can get it off if we just wait it out and wait patiently for this stuff to die on off. And I think after there's a back edge to it down between Dadeville and Montgomery, and after we get that cleared out, I think we're good.
So I'm gonna go 7:30, 8:30. I'm gonna go probably between 9 and 9:30. I think the back edge of all this stuff will be completely through, and the rest of the evening will be clear sailing. So I know that's not what anybody wanted to hear, but I'm just I'm throwing that out there as an option if we can't get things going here in just a few minutes.
All right. Well, good deal. Well, I'm fixing to run and have that discussion with Mayor Scott.
All right, do that, and we'll be looking forward to talking back to you here in just a few minutes, and hopefully next time we meet, hopefully we'll see people filing back into the stadium, and we'll be getting ready to get this show underway. So that's Jamie Dukas live up at Warren Sewell Field in Woodland. We are in a delay now. The show was supposed to start about 22 minutes ago, but just as we were getting ready to start the show, we had a thunderstorm that we thought was going to slip just to the south east of Woodland and not cause much trouble, but it intensified, Dana, and it did it right on top of Woodland, and we started to
Yep.
get lightning in the area and had to send everybody to their vehicle to be safe.
Yep, sure did. Looks like it's on the downswing now. Looks like it's spreading out. It looks like it's right about near Ramber now, and part of it's over already in Carroll County, Georgia, right below Bowden. So that stuff's moving up to the north. And I think, like we said, I think the next thing we're looking at is this stuff down here, Wadley, southeast Clay County way.
And if we go in real tight on Woodland, and that's one of the cool things about this radar, we can actually get down to street level. Right where you see 48 taking that curve right there, the stadium is sitting right there in that curve. So you can see that we still have some yellows over the stadium, but out there on the west side of Woodland, we've got just drizzle, and then that breaks off very quickly after that. So it won't be probably another 2 to 5 minutes, maybe 6 or 7 minutes. Well, actually, the last radar, the last volume scan right there, it goes green. So, the rain is in the process of coming to a halt right there at the stadium in Woodland. And so what we're going to have to watch for next is going to be this stuff down here, as Danny was talking about, down in Tallapoosa County, southeast Clay County, and southwest Randolph County. And let's see, I'm going to grab your radar right quick, Danny, so we can populate that for you. And let's see. There it is. Right. Tell us what you're looking at.
So you guys watching, if I did this on TV, I would probably get fired. This is like super, super nerdy stuff, but this is kind of the inside baseball that we play to see what these storms are doing. The left half of that screen is like the regular radar you see on TV, and that Dr. Don shows you on the background. But everything looks alike. You know, everything's going to rain. It's going to rain hard in the summer. Everything's going to rain hard. What I look at is this on the right. The red shows updrafts because it's where the beam is. If the beam is tilted up, the updrafts are so strong, it actually kind of bends the radar beam up. And that shows that red color right there. So let me stop the loop. And all this red color right here, these are updrafts. This one right here on the Clay Randolph line. These down here between New Site, really where Horseshoe Bend Park is down here. This one right below Daviston. So you can tell these all look red. They look the same on this map on the left-hand side. But on the right-hand side, you can kind of tell what storms are getting fired up, which ones are going to be potentially problems in a few minutes, which ones are on the downswing. Like these right here between, it looks like it's filling in between 431 and 48 right now, really in the north central part of Randolph. They haven't had anything, but watch these storms right here. These are going to blossom, I think, in the next 5 or 10 minutes to start being some lightning producers themselves. But the good thing is that they're heading north-northeast, so it's going to be a ram burn issue. Then, it's going to hit up here I-20 along the Georgia-Alabama line, heading up there toward, Buchanan up that way.
Yeah.
But, that's kind of what I'm looking at here to see how strong these things are and if they're on the way up or on the way down. So these are on the way up in north central Randolph. So it might be 7:35. Hopefully we can get that off if these don't misbehave too much. And then we just got to watch these and see if these hold together. We got one strong updraft here, another one down here below Daviston that's producing a little lightning strike here. So just kind of a whack-a-mole kind of game in the summer to kind of see what these storms do, how they behave, and which ones form new storms as they go.
Interesting stuff there, Dana, and that's why you get paid the big bucks, and I do it for nothing. Yeah.
I appreciate it. But yes, summertime is time to look at this stuff because summertime, all it's based on really is the heating of the day and how much moisture we got. That's never an issue. In the winter, and with tornadoes and all that, if you follow Dr. Don enough, we're playing the game about how far does the moisture get. How warm do we get? In the summertime, the Gulf is wide open. That ain't an issue. That's not an issue at all. So we just kind of see where this stuff develops and where it percolates. See, there's one lightning bolt already. You got the lightning bolt right here. right south of the Cleburne line in north central Randolph between 48 and 431 off that new storm.
Yeah, and that was the area you were just talking about.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely good stuff. Appreciate your input on that. Dana and I have been talking about doing this for a long time, bringing him in on the program because there is, I'm a messenger. I'm a broadcaster. Been doing it for most of my professional career, and you just kind of got a niche for doing that years ago.
You're selling yourself short, my friend, though. I'm telling you, you're selling yourself short. You know your stuff. You know your stuff.
I don't have the meteorology certificate to go behind it. If I had it all to do over again, I probably would. But Dana does. And just little things like what he was just showing you is good stuff. And we're just so happy to be able to bring that to the Dr. Don's weather and be able to share that with you, especially during times of severe weather. Now, what we've got going on out there today ordinarily probably would not warrant a live broadcast because we don't really have anything serious going on out there. But during times of tornado outbreaks and even in the wintertime, during times of winter precipitation and winter storms and that sort of thing, having Dana's knowledge of looking at different products, such as what he was just showing us, is going to be fantastic here on Dr. Don's weather, and we're looking forward to it. We hope we never have any more severe weather, but Dana, we know that's not going to happen, don't we?
Yep. Yes. Question not if, but when. Unfortunately, living here in the South, that's the beauty of it is we get nice and somewhat warm winters and springs and short winters, but the non-beauty of it is that because of that, we got that always going to have that risk of severe weather.
No question there, and I think it's 7:30. I think that the officials there at Woodland, and Dana, you stop me and correct me if I'm wrong, but just looking at the radar now, the closest lightning I see is pretty much way up here around Bucktown, which is going into Carroll County. That's moving away from Woodland. So I think they're pretty safe to go ahead and make that all clear call there at Woodland and let folks start coming back into the stadium. Now, how long that's going to last, I don't know, because we've got this stuff down here in southwestern Randolph, southeastern Clay, and down into Tallapoosa that we're going to have to deal with. But I don't see quite as much lightning down there now as I did the last time we looked at that shot, Dana.
Yeah, there's a few updrafts still on the 280 corridor there, but nothing near as impressive as what's in really northern Randolph right now. But there's a few, Alex City, Jackson's Gap right above there. I'm looking at one over Camp Hill as well. So I think, at a minimum, they're going to get rained on again, I think, over there at Vern Fest. But hopefully it won't be any more prolific lightning like that one storm blew up with over the past few minutes.
Okay. Y'all just bear with me. I'm sending Jamie a text message right quick to let him know that Dana and I both agree that we think it's safe to go ahead and let folks come back in the stadium and maybe try to get this thing started here in the next 15 or 20 minutes or so. So I got a couple of questions over here in the chat room. Question, is that going to hit Roanoke? And I'm assuming she's talking about this stuff over here in Tallapoosa County. Going to move northeast, so yeah, I think Roanoke's probably going to get some of that. What do you think? Yeah,
I think so. It'll be a while though. I think that stuff near Wadley, I think will miss them to the west. But I think this stuff here, Dadeville, watch the stuff down there near Dadeville and Camp Hill. That'll be the stuff to be on more of a line for Roanoke. Wait and see what it does when it gets close to Milltown, Abanda, those little towns on 67 there between Lafayette and Wadley, and that'll be what will come Roanoke way here in the next. I don't know, you probably got another good, I would say 90 minutes or so without seeing any rainfall, but then it's going to probably go downhill pretty quickly here. But after, I'd say probably about maybe 8:30 or so in the Roanoke area, we'll start seeing some of that rainfall.
All right, so I just got confirmation from Jamie. They're going at 7:35. So
okay.
About 3 more minutes, and they're going to open the gates back up and let everybody back in the stadium, and we're going to try to go ahead and get this show started. And like Dana was saying, we're having to watch this stuff that's coming out of Tallapoosa County up into southeastern Clay and southwestern Randolph. That's moving in the general direction. of Woodland, and there is some lightning involved in it there between Wadley and Malone. So, um,
I'm gonna. Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry, go
no,
ahead.
go
I'm
ahead and
sorry.
take it. I'm reading something here.
Okay. What bugs me about that though, right above Wadley, is look how sharp it goes from red and brown and burgundy to nothing. So that's a pretty strong storm right there. And I'm showing some gusty winds too, 30, 35 miles an hour. So I know we haven't mentioned that, but this storm right here riding the Clay Randolph line northwest of Wadley has some gusty winds in it. Looks like it's going to miss Woodland. It'll probably go just to the west of Wedowee. If you're anybody, I'll tell you this: anybody that's on Lake Wedowee that might be watching us or knowing anybody doing any kind of a boating over there, and if they've been missing the weather today, they're not going to miss this one. So I would definitely get off Lake Wedowee if you know anybody over there doing any kind of outdoor activity. But I think it's going to be a little bit west of Woodland, but might clip Wedowee and definitely will hit the area that's already been hit along northwestern Randolph along 431 there.
So, so Jamie is telling me via text that the sound engineer for Little Texas is not comfortable with going just yet. So I'm trying to find out if that is going to be because of what's coming from the southwest. Of course, these guys have got hundreds of thousands of dollars of worth of sound equipment, and I completely get it. And they absolutely certainly should have a saying on whether they're going to go or not, with all of the what they've got tied up in that equipment. So, they may not be comfortable with that stuff still that's up there around Ranburne. They may also be looking at the radar. They do this professionally, multiple times a week, so they know what they're doing. They may be looking at this stuff down here in the southern part of Clay and Randolph too. That's coming that way, and they may not be comfortable in going just yet.
Right. Yep. Like you said, totally understandable. I mean, that's that sound stuff. You can't go get that sound stuff at Walmart that they have. It ain't cheap.
No, you certainly can't. So the answer, I asked him, if he had any idea what the sound engineer was thinking, and he said he wasn't really 100% sure, but there was a distant flash just a few moments ago, and the engineer said no go just yet. So,
gotcha.
At this point, from a public safety standpoint, I'm marginal, but from the standpoint of the engineers that are on site that handle the sound equipment and the lighting equipment, they're telling us no go just yet.
Yeah. And I think if they say no go too much longer, though, I think this stuff in Southwest Randolph is going to make another delay for them.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think if they wait much longer at all, we're probably going to be looking at a significant delay, because we're going to have to get all this through Randolph County before it's going to be safe to do anything.
Absolutely.
And that may be 90 minutes to 2 hours before that happens.
Yeah. Jamie, do we know when what their hard stop is tonight? I mean, is it going to be, are they pulling all nighter or what?
Yeah, I don't know either. Let me pose that question to him. He hasn't rejoined us yet. I know they're busy up there, and I'm talking to him via text, but Dana, if you want to kind of recap what we're looking at on the radar, I'll ask him that question.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, we're looking at some storms. Of course, the one that caused the delay is now into Carroll County, Georgia, north of Ephesus and Heard County, and really the southwest corner there, really where Cleburne and Randolph and Carroll all come together. Ranburne, Bowden over that way, heading up to the northeast. And again, like Dr. Don said, we're here because we're doing really event support, and we're trying to help them out and make sure this isn't severe. None of this stuff is severe. The worst weather is a flash flood warning right now in Talladega County from water. It's not going to be any kind of damaging wind type issue or large hail type issue or tornadic type issue tonight. That's not going to be the case. Might see some gusty winds. I mean, I am seeing winds now. Looking at the southwest Randolph cell, 35 to 40 miles an hour. So we may see some gusty winds, but nothing damaging, nothing severe. But again, we're just kind of helping them out support-wise, make the right decisions on what to do. And again, upstream, really south. So upstream, based on where it's moving, down in Tallapoosa County. We still have it all the way back to Lake Martin. We're still seeing some showers and storms, but there is a very definite back edge. You go down near Kalija Park, Reeltown, down that way. Draw a line from about Reeltown to Rockford, and south of there, you're good. And just where that line's going to come up eventually, and it's just how long do they want to go? If they got a hard stop later tonight, to wait for that line to get through, and then I think we're done for the night. I don't see anything else popping overnight of any kind of any kind of potency.
Yeah, if we can just get to the backside of this stuff that he's talking about right there, then we're going to be in good shape. As a matter of fact, let me see if
and while you're doing that, I will say again though, I know you got a lot of viewers not just doing the Vernfest stuff. Get off Lake Wedowee. If you got any friends or family up there, get them off the water and get them inside, because it's going to be some gusty winds and lightning for sure with these cells coming on up to the north.
Yeah, no doubt about that. All right, so I was going to try to be cute there for just a second, but we got too much going on at one time, so we're not going to try to be cute. We'll try to be cute some other time. All right, so I'm getting some questions. About tornadoes. Apparently, the clouds look pretty rough there in Woodland, and I'm sure they do. The sun is setting, so we're getting, we got the sun behind the clouds, and that tends to make things look pretty ominous. And we do have some pretty significant clouds in the area. And the answer to that question is no. This really is not a tornado environment tonight, so there's not much. I mean, anytime you have a thunderstorm, you can never say never. But this is not a conducive tornado setup tonight, right, Dana?
Right. Yeah. You can see James Band calls them the CLCs, the creepy looking clouds. You're going to get that because we just have so much moisture in the air. The more moisture you have, the darker the skies are. And then really dark black clouds are really a product of how much moisture is in the air, because it's blocking the sun. Black clouds don't tell you there's going to be a tornado, there's going to be any kind of severe weather. It's really just a byproduct of how much moisture and how much water is blocking the sunlight and making those clouds look darker. So in the summertime, you get some scary looking clouds up there. But again, the atmosphere is just not set up that way. The winds are really light aloft. There's no real screaming winds aloft that's going to come down with any kind of rotation or anything like that. We don't have any kind of directional shear or anything like that promotes tornadoes. So, I would say that's very out of the question. I will say though, still, we can see some gusty winds, 30 miles an hour, maybe 40 miles an hour in some very, very extreme cases with some of this stuff, especially this time of day. What goes up must come down. So we lose that support. We lose the updrafts, the sun setting. We're losing that heating. So you can see some gusty winds as these storms kind of rain themselves out, if you will, with the downdrafts, but nothing tornadic, nothing any kind of damage would happen because of them.
Then we had a report, ground truth report from Brenda Carson, who's watching us down there in the County Road 33 Foster's Chapel area down around Wadley, and she is confirming, Dana, what we're talking about. And that's going to be down here in this particular area, right there around Foster's Chapel, Corinth. She said it's just, in her exact words, it's coming a gully washer down there.
Is she seeing any wind, any strong wind? Can you holler back at her and see?
Yeah.
I'd be curious to know.
See. Yeah, she's listening to us. So, Brenda, if you had any gusty winds, how about posting that in the chat room and letting us know about that as well? Be interesting to know. I preach that all the time. I know you do too. This stuff that we're looking at, this modern technology, is fantastic, but nothing replaces ground truth reporting of what's going on in a particular area.
Absolutely.
So if you guys can tell us what's happening in your particular location, that would be fantastic, especially if we have any severe weather in a particular area. All right, so I tell you what we're going to do, Dana. All right, so Brenda says not much wind, so that's good news.
Okay. Yep.
I've got some weird stuff going on. on your side. A little ghosting going on. I'm not sure where that's coming from. Let me turn your box off and then bring it back. No, it's still there. Huh. We're going to pause. Okay, you're good now. You got it.
Okay.
So Jamie's telling us that they are discussing at this time what their drop dead curfew is. In other words, how late can they wait to start this show? So that discussion is going on now. I'm assuming that is a discussion that's going on with the promoters, probably everybody involved, including Mayor Scott, to decide and come up with a number. What is it going to be? 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock? If we have to stay and delay past a certain time, then we're going to have to call off the show, or we're going to have to reschedule it, or whatever their plan is. So that decision is being made as we speak. So hopefully we will have some kind of answer here in the next few minutes or so as to the question you and I both have been asking all afternoon: how long can they go before they have? Because we don't know. Are they playing somewhere tomorrow? Right. Are they gonna be in Tampa, Florida? Tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow night. If so, then there's a certain time they have to be packed up and on the road because they don't fly. They ride in the bus. They were in Pennsylvania yesterday. They played in Pennsylvania, and they're in Woodland, Alabama tonight, and they drive.
And they busted?
Yes.
Wow.
So that's what I'm talking about. Well,
they got one of those fancy sleepers, though, right? I'm sure they got
It was an all-night drive, and everybody except the driver got to sleep, and the driver was sleeping while they were performing yesterday.
He's probably sleeping right now, unless he got woke up by thunder.
Absolutely, I'd be sleeping right now if I drove all night. But that's the way this works. So they transport by bus, and so if they have a show scheduled tomorrow. Then there's going to be a certain time they're going to have to say, that's it. We got to pack up and go, or we're going to miss our next gig. So that's the decision that they're trying to make right now. Probably won't take long to get an answer on what that's going to be. Some more questions in the chat room. Sharon's asking the question, is this severe in Alexander City? And the answer to that is no. How far below severe limits are we looking at down there in the Tallapoosa County area, in your opinion?
They're ramping down in Alex City. It looks like the worst of it's north of them now. It looks like it's clearing the 280 corridor. So we almost I think we're about maybe 20, 30 minutes from getting all clear of the 280 corridor from any kind of storms the rest of the night. Looks like the worst of what she saw, I think, is up here right above what's that up there? Above Highway 22, above where Horseshoe Bend High School is, up that way. I think that's where the storms were that she's talking about before. They moved up to the north and northeast and moved on out of there.
Yeah, so like you were saying, probably Alexander City proper is on the backside of it now, and then in the next 20 or 30 minutes, the entire 280 corridor should be pretty well clear of this batch of storms that's moving on off to the north. And that's what we're going to have to wait to clear Randolph County, I'm afraid, before we can get the VernFest show underway. Yep. And that's probably going to take at least another hour, maybe hour and 15 minutes, I think, for this to completely clear the Woodland area and be in the complete clear to get this show underway. Because now, let me zoom down and get Woodland to populate. Dadgum, we got rain there again, too.
Yep. If you still have my source to take, I'll show you an updated what I'm looking at here. Yep. So remember, if you just joined, and I didn't get my explanation, so I know it's spilled paint. It's a bucket of spilled paint, right? The map on the radar on the left is the usual map you're used to with how intense the rain is. The one on the right, though, because everything rains hard in the summer. Every storm's going to have heavy rain with it. This tells you individually where the updrafts are. It's really how much the radar is getting bent by winds going up, the actual storm rising. So these red splotches here are updrafts. And look at this, a little trail of updrafts from about Wadley to halfway between Roanoke and Wedowee, heading up toward the northeast here, and then some more right along Lake Wedowee. We got some more. This is all heading this way. So again, it's about to get worse before it gets better. About to get a lot worse in Woodland before it gets better here. Another one. Watch this. See, keep an eye on this right here. This is, I think, near Standing Rock in Chambers County. See this little baby shower right here? Wait about 10 or 15 minutes and see what this does, because we got a very strong updraft with it. So it'll go from a baby shower and it'll head up here, clip the extreme southeast part of Randolph, east of Rock Mills, and then head on up here toward Franklin along 34, west of Franklin and Heard County. Watch it explode from a baby shower to a storm. And then this stuff down here in Tallapoosa County, the updrafts aren't really as strong. So we might be, fingers crossed, on the downswing here of this stuff down here in Tallapoosa. So we might get the back edge out of here quicker than maybe 9:30. But short term, next 15 to 30 minutes, all these red splotches, all these updrafts right here, zoom on in to where these are. Woodland's right there. And all these areas right here are storms that are in the strengthening phase, not the weakening phase. One right along 48 here.
Yeah, Dana, so I've got Jamie and Scott on the phone, and they're trying to make some decisions, and they're asking the question, how much total rainfall? Just, I know that's a hard thing to do, but just because it's pouring in Woodland again now with that cell that has just regenerated right on top of downtown Woodland. Yeah. Looking all the way from Woodland back down to Alexander City, which is where the backside of all this is, it's rotating to the northeast. When all is said and done, how much more rain, in your educated guess, would you say we're looking at for Woodland over the course of the next hour and a half?
I'd say another inch is a sure thing. I would, if I were a betting man, yeah, I'd bet the over on an inch for sure. I wouldn't bet the under.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to let you take the live broadcast back for just a second while I give them that answer, and I'll be right back with you, and maybe we'll know what we're going to do here.
All right, sounds good. So while Dr. Don's doing that, let me just walk you through some stuff here, guys. Let me show you as well. I know we got some, we get Dr. Don has a lot of followers in East Alabama overall. So let me show you this radar map right here. Still got a flash flood warning for parts of northern Tallapoosa County. Let's zoom on into where that is, right outside the area that we're worried about here at Woodland. But right here is Highway 77 up to Talladega, and then it goes over toward Lincoln. There's 21 that goes between Talladega, excuse me, and it goes toward Mumford and Oxford. And look at this rainfall right here in the Mumford area. Let me put eyes on it. 5 inches, almost 6 inches, 6 inches right there over downtown, if you will, Mumford. So that's why we got the flash flood warning there. Today, they have seen 5 inches plus centered right on the city of Mumford along Highway 21. So that's what we were looking at a couple of hours ago, and that's what we kind of alerted the guys in Woodland to, with this stuff moving on off toward the east. And unfortunately, it's over Randolph County now. Let me go back to velocity, too. That's kind of what I was looking at, too, with some of this, some of the winds in the actual storm. Let me go on down to that. I know I think the screen is doing some funky things here, so I apologize for that. Hopefully you're seeing it there. So here's what's going on wind-wise. Not as strong as what we had previously, but winds maybe 20 to 30 miles an hour as this stuff really starts. Gusty winds, nothing damaging. And again, a lot of you guys in the chat, Dr. Don, said we're asking about tornadoes, nothing tornadic with this stuff either. And let me go again to what I'm looking at as far as the updrafts, what the precursor to the storms, what's getting them going. And you got a lot of them here. You got a lot of these updrafts here. The big one right there near Standing Rock, on that road that goes, I think it's 278 Chambers County Road that goes from just south of Roanoke out toward LaGrange in Georgia. That shower is really going to intensify here next few minutes. Zooming on in here to Randolph County. Again, it's pockmarked here with updrafts of storms that are in the development phase. This really a kind of like a crescent shape right here from east of Wedowee to the Georgia line, then back to the north of Roanoke, just north of where the Walmart is on 431, then back around where 22 comes into Roanoke and south near the Chambers County line is just full of storms that are just popping right now and that are intensifying, and they're moving in the general direction, unfortunately, of Woodland.
All right, Jay, I'm back in here with you, Dana.
Okay.
And I apologize, everybody, and I don't mean to interrupt you, Dana.
No, absolutely.
And thank you for covering while I was doing that, because I was on the phone with Jamie and the mayor and their sound engineer and their coordinator. And so, boy, I just learned a lot. There are a lot of decisions and a lot of different things that go into making a decision on calling something like this. Total rainfall amount within a 3-hour period is one of them, and that's an insurance thing.
Gotcha.
For coverage to cover the cost of the lost revenue for not being able to do something like this, and that threshold is 4/10 of an inch within 3 hours.
Oh man, they're gonna make that. They're gonna double and triple that, man. Yeah.
I think they probably already met that, and
Let me look.
Yeah. If
Can,
you don't mind, yeah.
yeah. Let me
So
look at the.
so the decision was made while I was on the phone with them. Unfortunately, the show has been called. And
Okay.
they're not going to be able to carry on with tonight's show. At least that's what they're telling us right this minute. So for those of you that maybe, and I have no earthly idea what happens henceforth as far as any type of rescheduling or rain checks or ticket stuff. I have no idea on that. I would assume there is a Facebook page for VernFest, and I assume information like that will be forthcoming on their Facebook page. So am I looking at almost a half inch of rain already? Is that what I'm looking at?
Already, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just from that little. That's for that little shower that we were watching. That kind of, kind of skirted them, kind of bumped them to the east.
Yeah.
See, look, they got an inch of rainfall. This pink, I think, is an inch. Yeah, an inch. Just right at 48, they had about an inch of rain already.
Wow.
And there's all that stuff downstream or upstream still to go in Tallapoosa and down southern Randolph. So yeah, they're gonna make that and then some. And I think they already have pretty much.
Yeah. So if we if we go back over and take the WSV3 and put it in motion, just to give you an idea of what we're looking at over the course of the next 30 to 45 minutes. You see all this stuff down here in southern Randolph, southwest Randolph. It's filling in as it's moving off to the east northeast. So every bit of this stuff down here is headed toward Woodland. So you're about to get heavy rain and more heavy rain on top of what you've already received in Woodland, and it's going to continue, Dana, for at least an hour, if not a little bit longer.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like 280 is the cutoff right now down in Tallapoosa County. South of 280, I think, is coming to an end. But again, I mean, that's about 40 or 50 miles south of Woodland. So you got all that still to go. So definitely another hour and a half. I don't think they're done until 9:30 with the rainfall, and that's going to be because the sun goes down and it just rains itself out. It's not going to be because it moves away.
Yeah. So this stuff is moving to the north. That one's moving at 29. Let's see, get a little average here. 31. There's 14. So probably somewhere around 20 to 25 mile per hour forward motion to the northeast. Yeah, you're looking at an easy hour and a half to get all this stuff up and through the Woodland area. It'll clear southern Randolph County sooner than that, but up in the northeast part of Randolph County, it'll probably take a good hour to an hour and a half to get that out of there. Now, folks, we're not picking on Woodland or Randolph County. We've been specifically talking about that area because we've been doing coverage all day long for the 5th annual VernFest that's taking place there in Woodland, Alabama. Little Texas was set to perform tonight. The show was supposed to start at 7 o'clock. We had showers this afternoon. We were hopeful that those showers were going to cool off the atmosphere and keep this very thing from happening. And maybe what happened, Dana, we got the rain too early. We had time to recover. And then these storms kicked in the heat of the afternoon, and now we have what you see there on the screen. Right at 7 o'clock when the show was supposed to start, we had some lightning strikes too close to the venue, so they evacuated. And then the rain set in, and it's been pouring rain up there pretty much ever since for about the last hour. They've already received a half inch of rain there at the football stadium. And now we have all this convection coming up from the southwest. It's already made it to Wedowee. It's about to move in to the Woodland area, and that stretches all the way back down to northern sections of Tallapoosa County. So they've got at least another hour's worth of rain to go, maybe a little bit longer. Probably going to pick up another inch or so. May end up with an inch and a half of rain in Woodland before this is all said and done. And the crew there for Little Texas has made the decision to pull the plug on the show, and they are not going to be able to perform tonight due to obligations and just the simple fact it's just not safe, Dana. I mean, we have lightning in this storm that's coming up through Wedowee now, and we've had several people across the southeast and particularly here in Georgia struck by lightning over the last week or so. We've had some fatalities. And as bad as I know everybody wanted to see Little Texas, and I was one of them, it's not worth taking that risk.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's lightning strikes all the way back to Camp Hill with this stuff. So that's another 40, 50 miles away too. And lightning is they call it the silent killer. It's and you don't need rainfall for lightning to strike either. It could strike about 10 miles away from the parent storm. You can get those bolts from the blue. So definitely better safe than sorry in that. But hey, take the Vern Fest hat off and put I'm an East Alabama resident hat on, and we're nearly in a drought. So this rain's beneficial. I hate the timing of it, but we're getting some beneficial rains here in East Alabama. I hate this in the weekend. I hate that it ruined the event, but we definitely need the rainfall here.
Well, Dana, I want to tell you how much I appreciate you taking time to spend here with us today. We appreciate it. You and I have been talking back and forth for, I don't know, probably 4, 5, 6 months or so about possibly putting something together. Dana works as a meteorologist at WTVM in Columbus, down in the Columbus market, also over at Auburn University. So, hey, I'm going to like him if he's down in Auburn.
Eagle.
Yeah, War Eagle. Hey, we got a huge recruit for 2024 today. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that.
Quarterback.
No, I've been,
a good one.
other than you, man, I've been unplugged. Other than you and weather, I've been unplugged today.
Yeah,
so
we had to talk football for just a second. Dana is also a high school football referee and is about to get very busy for the high school football season. But we've been talking back and forth about doing some things together. That has come together. We're still trying to figure out exactly where we go from here, but he was with us up in New Hope a couple of weeks ago when we did the turkey shoot up there, and we were all supposed to be in person today in Woodland for the Vern Fest. Dana and Jamie, and then we were just going to have a good old time. And then about Wednesday of last week, COVID hit the Dr. Don household, and so we knew that it was not safe for us to travel down to Randolph County, and in an effort to keep us and everybody else safe, we decided at the last minute, we had to make that call yesterday, to try to do something remotely and virtually. So we put Jamie at the stadium itself with a live feed. Dana has joined us here remotely from his facility in Auburn. It's pretty cool what modern technology will allow us to do. I'm broadcasting from northeast Georgia. Dana is in Auburn, and Jamie was in Woodland this evening. And we've had fun this afternoon bringing you weather coverage. Typically we wouldn't do weather coverage for this because it's not severe, but we were doing it because of the Vern Fest. And wanted to let everybody know what was going to happen. And unfortunately, things just did not pan out, and the show has had to be called just in the last 10 minutes. So the decision was made that the show will not go on tonight because of the weather, the amount of rain, and the fact that there's lightning in the area is just not safe. So they are in the process of shutting that down this evening up there in Woodland. I'm sure more information is forthcoming. As far as whether or not this is going to be rescheduled, it's awfully difficult and almost next to impossible to have a rain date on something like this. So I don't know, but that would be hard to do. But I'm sure more information will be coming out. You can check the VernFest Facebook page for more information in the coming days on that. So we have the rain tonight. Dana, we go back to what, 30-40% chance of rain, I think, for the rest of the weekend, and kind of back to a summer afternoon thunderstorm pattern throughout the remainder of next week?
Yeah, I think so. This actually is part and parcel from the and of course, you guys watch national news, all the flooding in Kentucky and Tennessee, disastrous flooding with fatalities up there from flash flooding. This is kind of a piece of that that's come on down toward northern Alabama, northern Georgia. It's kind of helping promote these today. And I think that washes out tomorrow, and we get back to the usual summertime pop-up storms. I think we're going to see that for the next week, 3 weeks probably.
Dana, we have a knucklehead that lives in Rock Mills, Alabama. She's so rural, she has to climb up on the side of a pole. You remember Green Acres, the way they had to climb up the pole to talk on the telephone? Well,
The place to be, I heard.
Tammy Farr lives out there in Rock Mills, and I refer to her as Rock because she lives in Rock Mills. So she has a question. She wants to know if it's going to snow tonight.
It's going to snow tonight.
She does.
No.
Every time I go live for severe weather, she has to pop in there and put snow with a question mark.
Awesome. I love it.
So, yeah,
I
keeps
love
me
it.
on my toes.
At least you didn't say, what time is the snow going to start at my house? I get that sometimes.
Yeah, what about the snow in Rock Mills? Yeah,
Yep.
give us a couple, 3 or 4 months, and we'll talk about snow. A little early for that.
And
Dana,
I'm not wishing this, but we've got a lot of falls and winters here, like October, November, December, without having a big severe weather event. We've gone several years without having one. And
You're
I
right.
think our time might be running out there. I think we might be due for a big fall severe weather episode. Again, I'm not wishing it. Please don't think I'm wishing it, but I think we're on borrowed time when it comes to that.
Yeah, I mean, odds are if you go 2-3 years without one, it's going to happen. It will happen eventually, so odds are getting better that that's the case. What about this tropical mess, dude? The lack of. That's concerning me. I'm afraid it's all going to pop at one time because it has to sooner or later.
Yeah, and the Gulf's a bathtub right now, temperature-wise. It's bath water down there. It's legit 90-degree bath water on some of the beaches right now, Destin, Fort Walton, Panama City. They're registering temperatures of 90 degrees in the water.
And that's the way that the oceans release that energy is through tropical storms and hurricanes. So at some point, it's like, it's like a volcano. The top's going to come off at some point. It has to. There's no other options. And I'm afraid it's going to all bust at one time, and the latter part of our hurricane season could get very busy.
Yep, I agree too. And that 90-degree Gulf water is like taking the I know we're talking about gas prices, but it's buying that 93 octane gas that we probably couldn't really afford right now. It's putting that 93 octane in your car. That's what that 90-degree bath water is going to do for those storms. So yeah, I'm with you. It's a nice little respite, but it doesn't bode well for the rest of the year.
Well, my friend, I apologize for taking up so much of your time today. I know this is your last weekend with a little bit of downtime before your football season gets underway, but I appreciate you. I appreciate you spending time with us and giving us an intelligent look at some of these weather products that we've looked at here tonight. I've learned something, and I certainly hope that our listeners and our viewers have been able to learn a little bit tonight as well. There's always a silver lining in every cloud. Yes, the Vern Fest had to be canceled because of inclement weather in the Woodland area, but we all got to hang out and have a good time tonight and learn some weather stuff along the way. And we appreciate you. Look forward to the next time. We will be in Roanoke, Alabama. I can say for certain that I will, and if Dana's available, I'm sure he will be too, as well as Jamie, for the Fall Fest, which will take place on October 1 in downtown Roanoke. That is a big deal, and we're going to be there giving away T-shirts. We look forward to setting up in downtown Roanoke and hanging out with you for that. I'll be along first thing tomorrow morning with your Sunday morning edition of your primetime forecast. Don't forget you can catch my daily weather forecast over on God's Country and at 90.9 FM. And over on the Classic at 97.9 as well. Please go over to drdonwx.com, hit that donate button if you want to help support us. You folks on Facebook can send us Facebook stars. We love getting those stars. That helps support us as well. We need all the support we can get. Dana has been in this long enough, and he knows this stuff's not cheap. It's the time is no problem. It's all this other stuff.
We do feel love, though. When you said we apologize, I was shaking my head. No apology needed, my friend. I love doing this. I love weather. I love helping people and keeping people safe and keeping people informed. So that's right up my alley. I enjoyed it.
And this part of Alabama and West Georgia is kind of in a bad spot as far as major market television is concerned. No, I'm not no fault to the television stations. They do what they do. Is just is what it is, and so we can fill that gap, and that's what we try to do here on Dr. Don's Weather, and I like to think we do a fairly decent job at it. Over the years. But again, thank you, Dana. Thank you for being with us, and we'll have you back in here again real soon. And we appreciate all you folks who have joined us this evening across East Alabama and West Georgia. In case you're just joining us again, the Vern Fest has been canceled for tonight due to the weather across East Alabama and West Georgia. There is really no threat of, there's no widespread threat of severe weather. If something were to change, we were to get a severe thunderstorm warning, that's typically our threshold, then we'll come right back and cover that for you here on Dr. Don's Weather. See you later, my friend.
Likewise. Thanks for the opportunity, Dr. Don. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you, everybody, for joining us here on Dr. Don's Weather. We'll see you tomorrow morning.